Good afternoon, my friends. Hello, welcome. Today I would like to go into the Kardashians. If you're new, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000. We really want to get to like 1 million, but when you're manifesting, you have to do it in realistic for you increments. So we're going to do it in increments. So let's get to 10,000 and then we'll keep going. I want to do a reading on the Kardashians today. Excuse me. I don't care really about the drama that's happening now. I mean, those women are a little old, I think, to be having these things. But when I was doing the Hollywood and the Illuminati MK Ultra video, I found a video of Khloe straight up saying that Kris pimped her out.
When I was 17, I was definitely way beyond my years. There was a party right after the VMAs. It was Diddy's famous party.
The Kardashians are a mess. Khloe Kardashian confirms one of the family's dirty secrets.
And we're like, just this guy won't call me back. She's like, well, did you give him a BJ?
It all makes sense that Kris Jenner has been pimping out her own children for years.
I did learn my work ethic from my dad, but I learned so much more from my mom than I ever give her credit for.
Kourtney is pissed off right now over rumors about her kids.
Which Diddy's mom pimped him out.
Was born on November 4th, 1969, in the Harlem neighborhood of New York City. He was raised by his mother, Janice Combs, after his father, Melvin Earl Combs, was murdered in 1974 when he was just 3 years old. Melvin Combs was a big drug dealer for Harlem mobsters and ultimately died in a drug deal gone wrong. Meanwhile, Janice took on 3 jobs: as a teacher, substitute teacher, and escort. As an escort, it's been reported that Janice would take her clients back home and have sex with them in front of Diddy, exposing him to adult activity at an early age. Which makes you think, is this where the idea of freak-offs subconsciously came to Diddy? Furthermore, upon looking at the dynamic of Janice and Diddy on camera, it does make you think if this is a normal mother and son relationship.
Apparently that's like part of it. So what I really want to know today is more about Robert, senior, Rob Kardashian Sr. And when I was like getting all of their phone numbers, no. I went to, one of my girlfriends lives in Beverly Hills, and we drove by the Calabasas house. And that was like one of the times that my illusion of reality shattered. Like I thought they lived there. Back in 2009 or whenever their show was popular. It might still be popular, but I outgrew it or something. Back then, I loved watching it. I thought that was their real house. It's not. While I was looking for their birthdays, Robert came through. Well, I invited Robert to come through, and he started giving me messages, and so I wanted to jump on. I just set sacred space, called in the quarters, and if anyone would like to join our Wednesday night class, please do. There's a link in the bio, and we'd love to have you. With Robert, I have questions about Robert, but what I was getting, I've gotten this before about his esophageal cancer. To me, as a medical intuitive, that's straight up holding in your words. You're not speaking your truth. And there was an interesting Louis Vuitton bag.
Robert Kardashian almost got away with it. For weeks, people had no idea what he did, until I wound up catching him. It was 4 weeks after the murders of O.J. Simpson's ex-wife Nicole and her friend Ron Goldman. I was producing a segment for a news show called Premiere Story. Yeah, it was a look back at what was going on outside O.J. Simpson's mansion the day after the killings. Simpson was returning from Chicago. He flew there the night of the murders, and everyone was waiting for him to arrive back from the airport. There was media, there were neighbors, there were lots of cops. Those are all cops in O.J. Simpson's driveway. Everyone except the little guy in the jeans and the white polo shirt. The one with the skunk streak in his hair. That's Robert Kardashian, O.J. Simpson's best friend. Back then, nobody knew the name Kardashian. Okay, now the action starts. Here comes O.J. He gets out of the car and heads straight toward his house. See, he's got his shoulder bag. The cops will handcuff him and they'll question him outside near his kid's playhouse. But as O.J. walks away, a woman gets out of the car. She falls right into Robert Kardashian's arms. We found out later her name is Kathy Randa. She's O.J. Simpson's secretary. And notice, she's carrying a bag too. She's carrying a Louis Vuitton garment bag. And here's where we see Kardashian again. He's still got his arms around Kathy Randa. And look what's at his feet. That Louis Vuitton garment bag. He's got his leg right up against it like it's his. And nobody noticed it. The lady cop definitely didn't notice it. The media didn't notice. Everybody made a big deal about the sad scene outside with these two people consoling each other. But 4 weeks later in that edit room, I took a really close look and saw these people weren't consoling each other. They're whispering. I mean, look at Kardashian. It's like he's getting instructions or something. And you can see he's got a big choice to make. He's got the lady cop on one side, O.J. Simpson's gal Friday on the other, and the bag at his feet. The cops are talking to O.J. in his yard. Now they've taken off the handcuffs, and they're going to bring him to police headquarters. That's Howard Weitzman, O.J.'s attorney for the day. And notice Detective Van Adder has O.J.'s shoulder bag. All eyes are on O.J. What can he say? But notice on the other side of the car, there's Kardashian. He's holding the bag now. Now the attorney and detective have some private words, and he makes his move. No, maybe not. Nowhere to go. Cop of the year. Well, she watches all the cameramen. Look who's on the other side of the car. Kardashian always said he tried to give the bag to the cops so they wouldn't take it. Bullshit. I'll never forget 4 weeks after this happened. Had the editor slow the tape, back it up, then freeze right there. See, 2 tags came up, American Airlines and Hertz Rent-A-Car. O.J. Simpson flew American Airlines. He was a spokesman for Hertz. That bag, that's the bag O.J. brought back from Chicago. The bag he packed the night of the murders. That's evidence. And there's his buddy, Robert Kardashian, walking away with it. That bag, never seen again. The name Kardashian would never go away.
That he was carrying out of OJ's house. There's all kinds of speculation. That's on this list. I have questions about the bag. But then it became more of like soul journeys and karmic ties. Is that why Kim Kardashian is going to law school? I don't know if she's still going or if she was drawn to law school to balance the perhaps, this is actually a felony, omission of truth on the stand. the omission of the truth. Perhaps he knew a little more. That's what I thought when I found out he had died of cancer, of esophageal cancer, that he had unspoken truth. And so I was wondering if Kim going to law school is her soul, like a soul mission to balance the scales of justice. So this might be a multi-part thing. The more I was looking into it, the more questions that I had. So let's just start with Robert Kardashian first, and then we'll get to my questions. Robert, this is senior. We should probably do junior, though. I saw BJ Investigates is wondering if he's in some kind of a weird conservatorship. Those don't go very well. That was another thing I forgot to tell you guys. When I was just explaining something about the Illuminati, a dark satanic force, they don't believe in consent. That's one of the probably the main thing of, it's the main issue to make something dark side. When you don't get consent, like, this is a free will world. We're all here. We all have free will. When you override someone else's free will, you impose your will on them. That's black magic or dark side. And when you're learning magic, if you've ever learned, or if you're learning, if you learn it for the white witch side, you always get consent. You never take away anyone's free will for love spells and crap like that. And I don't mean crap, like, I have done it all on both sides. Because for me, in order to understand it, I had to understand it from the dark side and light side. I've been trained. It also is one of the only ways I know how to eliminate demons and exorcisms, is by going into that training. So the Illuminati doesn't believe in free will. They do stuff without consent all the time. And the other day I was like, oh, who needs consent? Like, very sarcastically. And then right after I got off or something, it came to me that that's the main decision, or like deciding factor of dark side, light side. Light side always, I mean, just think of a good house guest. They come when they're invited, they leave, they don't stay too long, they don't just show up and have a party, come in uninvited. That's why if you're getting any help and you're not asking for it, the light side cannot help you. It's definitely dark side. And if you're playing or dabbling in magic, I don't know if someone in here is, or someone needs to hear this, but if you're dabbling, it always starts little. If you're working with deities and you're giving gifts, it doesn't start with the baby. Someone needs to hear that stuff. Make sure that your intentions are, you don't have to do anything light or dark. I don't care how you practice magic, but just remember, it doesn't start. It might start with a frog, or I don't know, someone in here might need to hear that. So I definitely think that Kris Jenner has no problem selling her soul and her children's soul at all. I have plenty of research backing it up. I want to know more about Robert Sr. The Robert Jr. thing, BJ Investigates, I talk about her all the time. Her and Ashley, like the grouping. BJ Investigates unearthed Britney's conservatorship. She was like fresh out of law school. I remember I started watching her when she was like, had less than like 1,000 followers. And now, I mean, it's been years, but she'd just gotten out of law school. She had a job in New York City, like making tons of money. And she uncovered Britney Spears. She started the Free Britney movement. And then she did the Free Bam movement. And she was asking if little Robert, I'm going to call him Junior, was in a conservatorship. So we'll put him on our list. I want to know about Senior. I have questions about him. I mean, the basic ones are like, is OJ Khloe's dad? The esophageal, throat cancer. Sorry, I don't mean to downplay it. I just am not pronouncing it well. Esophageal cancer. His major arcana card is the moon. The moon, well, it's a mirror, and it's also can be secrets that'll never come out. It's very loyal, because I think he's a water sign. Guess what? For our female Scorpios, Kris Jenner. He's a Pisces, and his major arcana card is the moon. His birthday and little juniors he's also a moon. Seniors is February 22nd of 44. He's a Pisces, so he's a water sign, and he's the moon. The moon can be secrets that'll never come out. I mean, that's what it means in tarot. I think that he struggled with his loyalty. Well, first of all, I have another thing. I know people hate these long intros, but there are timestamps. If OJ is Khloe's dad, I'm not doubting it at all. She looks like she could be. I have no idea. That means, okay, remember when we were figuring out that Jennifer McCabe was banging her sister's husband? And I was like, whoa, that's so trashy. That means that Kris Jenner was banging her best friend's husband and got knocked up. Because Nicole Brown was Kris Jenner's best friend. There are no limits. So we're not going to ask about OJ at this moment. I just want to tap into Robert Sr. and ask him what's going on. I want to know more about the karmic ties coming through. I know there's a rumor. I'm going to ask about this too. I'll put it on our list. This might be a multi-part thing, except I have to change shirts in between because I get confused when I'm editing them. And by editing, don't worry. If Robert, I just want to tap into him, get his energy, kind of feel it out. I don't know what question I was just about to ask, but the karmic, there was a rumor going around on TikTok that the Khloe Kardashians, like a great-grandmother, was practicing black magic, and she cast a spell on the family that all of the women would be successful beyond their imaginations, but the catch was that they would never have a happy relationship. That sounds pretty legit to me just from watching the Kardashians. They're like my age, so I've watched them kind of grow up and grow into this. And I wouldn't be surprised at all. So let's look into Robert and see what's going on with him, where it takes us, and then go into the karmic side or the soul path journey side. Maybe he was that grandmother that cast the spell. For past life regressions, and remember, the church doesn't make any money if you think you're never coming back. If you know you're coming back, you'll leave yourself money. I mean, they don't want that. So let's just tap into Robert Kardashian. He's very gentle. His energy is really gentle. Just like he looks, though. Very powerful, but gentle. I'm talking too much. Okay, we called him in and he's here, so we'll get this started. What do we need to know about Robert? Oh, he's grieving. He left his family money. Oh, he's around a lot. The Chariot, that's Khloe. Khloe's the Chariot, and I think one of the little girls. Let me just check. Khloe's the Chariot, and I thought one of the baby. Well, see, I call them babies. They're like adults now. Oh, the High Priestess, that's Kim Kardashian. The Empress. He definitely has some strong females in his life. We knew that. Wow. Justice is Kim Kardashian. The Lovers. Whoa. All right. There's a lot going on here. Yeah. So he was stuck between the weight of two decisions. Tell on his best friend or die of cancer, of throat cancer. That's like very much not expressing. All right. He was really independent too. He was really, really bright. I wonder if he always worked above board. He did have a number of affairs. According to, this is all allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research. I'm literally a chick with a tarot deck. And I am reading cards. You have the happy home. Murder. This, to me, is not rest and relaxation. Ooh. This could be a number of things. A dead little boy. We'll have to see. Addiction, well, especially alcoholism. If you see that on the cards, if you're learning or you're medical intuitive or anything, any kind of alcoholism or an addiction is a slow form of suicide, and it's like a more socially acceptable way, or afraid. It's really just unhealed trauma. But when you see alcoholism, or if they tell you or something, they are having a problem with their meat suit, and whether they know it or not, they're trying to check out. I have no idea where that came from, or if he struggled with alcohol. Okay, Justice, I think, is still Kim Kardashian. Let me check her. Justice, yeah, Kim. So Kim is definitely here. I wonder if Kim was that grandmother, or great grandmother, someone, I don't know how many generations ago. Lovers, no one's the lovers. And here's an overkill. Okay. So, oh boy. All right. There's a lot. He's definitely a patriarch. He definitely believed in like the masculine roles in a family. He liked the traditional roles of a family. He also felt like he carried all the weight. He didn't get really any help from his wife. Well, maybe some of her affairs were that she wanted more control. Maybe they struggled, a power struggle of control. They're both water signs, I think. Well, she's a Scorpio, yeah. If you're a Scorpio water sign, if you're a Scorpio female, what do your best friends say about you? That's a genuine question, I'm wondering. I'm just wondering, actually. I don't have any, I'm just wondering. I'm sure you're wonderful. Some of my best girlfriends are Scorpios. He feels like he's carrying all the weight. This happy home, I think he always wanted this happy home, and I don't think he wanted to cheat, but he wasn't getting what he wanted at home. And he felt like he was doing everything. Like, maybe Kim was busy, or Kris was busy at the country club, because I think they were loaded before. Well, weren't they in Beverly Hills? I think they were loaded before they really got loaded, which is a different, Paris Hilton is a different kind of loaded. He also, he was a lawyer, a litigation lawyer, or a trial lawyer. He was he was always prepared. He never went in unprepared. The star isn't anyone in his family. This could go back to an addiction. This could also be the rising star, the star is born. Seeing stars is could be an addiction. I wonder if he struggled with alcoholism. We'll have to check that. Yeah, I think that his idea of a happy home, I think he thought it would be easier than it actually was. And little Rob, I'll call him Robbie, little Rob Kardashian, is the same exact sign. So senior is 2, 22, 44. That's something magical in those numbers. And little Robbie So he's a Pisces, water in the moon. Little Robbie is 317 of 87, Pisces, water in the moon. So I think his family life just is sad. It's not what, I think he thought that his life would be easier than it was. I think he thought like the programming, you get up, go to school, you work hard, life gets easier. With the more money you make, it didn't get easier. And then his battle came from telling the truth or holding the secret, and he held the secret to his grave. And that, I think personally, is why he died so suddenly and young. He was pretty young. He died in 2003, 2 months after being diagnosed with esophageal cancer. His daughters are definitely on here. Kris is, oh, the death card. She's not on here. I bet you if we asked him, Kim, which one was Khloe? Kim and Khloe were her favorites. There's an interview of him saying he knows Khloe's not his biological daughter. Well, the first card that we got was grieving over spilled blood. This could be grieving over the life he lost, grieving over the life he could have had. He's very loyal. Telling that secret wasn't an option. He would rather literally die with that secret. Telling was not even on his radar. So he's grieving over spilled blood. This could be a number of things. And he had as happy of a home as he could. This is a happy home. There are a couple of 4s on here too. Stability. He was definitely the stable one in that house. I'd like to know what he thinks about Kris Kardashian. We'll go into that, but at this moment, we're just getting a general view of him. He left the girls plenty of money. He thought that he left them money. He also taught them, I remember hearing that he taught them a very good work ethic. And I think that shit hit the fan after he died. Like, literally. This could be symbolic of his death. Here's an overkill card. So we have a dead little boy on a coffin. No matter what I'm reading on, if I'm doing a personal reading and not true crime, when I see this card, to me, this could be a grieving mother, a grieving son. This to me is like grief. It could be a metaphorical death. Like, are you getting a divorce? Are you leaving your husband? Or this is to me, but I guess it could be, do you need to rest? Are you overwhelmed? Oh, especially with this 10 of Wands next to it. That's what this would mean if I was in a regular reading. Why are you carrying the weight of the world? And this is an overkill card. I'm not really sure what Robert Sr. is telling us with this. Like, he had a happy home. He left the girls plenty of money, he thought. He taught them a good work ethic. What he didn't teach them was to be a cheat. They got sued by Brandy, Ray J's mom, because they stole like $100,000. The Kardashian girls stole like $100,000, put it on her Amex card. This is what happened after he died. I wonder if the overkill, he struggled with his own parents. Was he Armenian? I wonder if his parents were the immigrants. I don't know. But to me, he was highly stressed. He was carrying the weight of the world. This overkill card, I don't know if he had family issues, maybe his dad was mean. There's 10 here, so we'll leave that for a second. What he didn't do is teach his daughters to lie, steal, and cheat, but his example of cheating on their mother, and she cheated on him, and the Louis Vuitton bag. I don't know if it was a garment bag. I just remember seeing a Louis Vuitton bag. that perhaps had a knife in it. So his actions were more in line with cheat, steal, lie to get to the top. His moral compass was stay faithful. You made a vow. He also promised when he became a lawyer that truth and integrity. So he had an inner conflict. Oh, maybe that's what this is. On the outside, it was a happy home, happy world, happy life. But he was betraying himself. He went against his own moral code and taught his children to lie, steal, and steal to get ahead. There was a lot of fighting in that home. That was not a happy home, I don't think. Especially if someone had a drinking problem. I mean, alcoholics in general are not that fun to be around, and I can say that from personal experience. A 9 of Wands, so he's planned, like this is his battle, and now he's just waiting. He's like injured though. That home was chaos. There's a lot of fighting in the home. If we could have like, these cards don't have it, but I do have some tarot cards that have like broken plates. That's what we would get right now. Yikes. And the rest are all major arcana cards. So, Justice is Kim Kardashian. This, I have questions about her soul contract. Is this balancing the justice? Maybe this is balancing that if a witch, I don't know what they called them then, but put a spell on her family. That's what they used to do. So even in the Bible, they talk about 7 generations. Like, I think it's Moses. One of them is like, in the Old Testament, 7 generations ahead and 7 generations back, there will be no water. Someone with a little more. Except I do love quoting the Bible when someone comes at me with Bible quotes about the occult. I'm like, so this is Kim, and she's also is she the high priestess or the empress? Kim. She's justice, but I think she's also sorry about this. Kim is justice and the empress. Okay. So this is Kim. Kim could be reincarnated as that grandma. She could be, I think she was the apple of his eye. He loved Kim. You know who's not here is Khloe. I mean, not Khloe, Courtney. She's the emperor. No one's the high priestess. This is also secrets. She's your ride or die. This is Robert Kardashian. Ride or die, he'll take your secrets to the grave. Literally, it killed him, I think. Your secrets killed him, OJ. And OJ used to come to Breck a lot. He loved golfing there. And in Breckenridge, just seeing celebrities wasn't, like, that big of a deal. It was just normal. But he used to come down to the restaurant I used to work at. And I always remembered that one lady who walked up to him on the street. This didn't happen in Breck. But she was like, walked up, shoved her hand in his face, and was like, I've never shaken hands with a murderer before. I always thought of that when I saw him. So this is Robert Kardashian. He's so ride or die. The Lovers, I don't know if because you come back through lifetimes, like when you do a past life regression and you're in, we set the intention that whatever life you need to see to learn for this lifetime, we always look around and see if you recognize anyone. Sometimes people see the husband they have now or a brother or a sister, but they're different. Their names are different. I think he and Kim are like soulmates, which is not weird or abnormal. You travel in a pack. Your soul family comes together. It's not like the first time you ever met him was right here. You've done this a lot. But I think this is him and Kim. It says lovers, but I'm using it metaphorically. They're like soul connections. The Chariot's Khloe. Getting out of here. This could also represent, what else does it say about Khloe? The Chariot, this could be unprocessed grief. Or is that from our moon? The moon for Khloe, we don't have the moon right now. But the moon can also be the toxic cycles she's getting caught up in. The star, back to Kim, the star, the apple of his eye. This is all Kim, most of this. And he weighed the weight of two decisions. Am I going to betray my very best friend? Am I going to take this secret to the grave? For him, it wasn't an option. That never even crossed his mind. But he died for it. And this is him pondering. Maybe he thought about it for a second, but the thought went away quickly when his loyalty overran that. So in conclusion, I just have to stop this so I can start uploading it. In conclusion, Robert Kardashian, I'm going to pause this and I'm just going to check see if there are any reports about him with alcoholism, because I want to go back into it. He's not over it and I'm not over it. I just want to pause this so it doesn't take 3 days to upload. In conclusion, Robert Kardashian, I think that he struggled with alcoholism. I don't know if that's public knowledge, but I think he did. Their home was not a happy home. There were plates, like he would make her so mad that she would throw plates at him. And he was almost more like the Johnny Depp. Like, he would go hide and she would get super aggressive. The girls that showed up for this are Khloe and Kim. I think he and Kim have a karmic, well, they're all in a soul family. I just think he and Kim, she was like the apple of his eye. Khloe showing up today just now also is representing unhealed grief. I don't think that those girls, Robert said that, little junior, Robbie has said that before. They never really processed his passing. They found out, I think he was in Greece or something, they found out he had esophageal cancer and he was dead 2 months later. It was very quick. And I think he struggled with alcoholism. He died with that secret. I think that it wasn't an option. I think also, I don't know if he was the son of immigrants, or if he was the immigrant. If he was, that was awesome for a first generation. But if he was the son of an immigrant, he believed the programming. You wake up, 3D, wake up, go to work, die. He didn't get out of that. And he might not have had a chance. They had a bunch of they had a ton of children really fast. Like, Candace has been pregnant for 4 years. It sounds like Kris Kardashian was too. Kris Kardashian, maybe she had an alcohol. No. I don't think that's a really common way. I don't think she's ever addressed it. And he weighed the weight of a decision, but it never really came to, I am going to tell. For him, the loyalty to his best friend or dear friend was much greater than his desire to live. For him, dying for that secret was worth it. I'm just going to check and see. I'm going to pause you guys, check and see. And his parents, it was his grandparents that were the they were the immigrants, refugees, leaving a war-torn country, genocide. And what triggers you is unhealed trauma, and a trigger for me is the land. So I got to work through that. And what the cards getting alcoholism could have been, the deep emotional trauma that's been carried through generations because no one's actually dealt with it. I think Courtney is the only one that's trying. Back in the day, maybe they're different now, but. So the alcoholism could be, there's not really anything known about Robert Sr. other than his professional accomplishments, and there's even less known. His parents did own a successful meat packaging. Ooh. One of my roommates, if you're in here, from college, her dad owned meat freezers in big cities changed the license plate on. They had all these really nice cars. We got to drive like really fast cars, but there were license plates to switch them out. So that could bring a different element to this, but in general, what else does Robert want to tell us? I'm going to pull some of these past life cards. I reset Sacred Space and called in the quarters and asked Robert if he'd like to join us. And man, the best thing those Kardashian girls could do is like, I don't believe in counseling only because it's the same. Well, once I was studying MK Ultra, it had a different meaning, but what they need is like a spiritual retreat or do some ayahuasca for like a month or two and just go away to like Costa Rica or something. These are the past life regression cards. Let's see. He was an orphan, or it says orphan. So this is deep ancestral trauma. Jordan Peterson, I think it's him, has talked about, and if this isn't Jordan, remember, there are no facts here. Oh, please like, share, subscribe. There are no facts here. I'm literally a chick with a tarot deck. So don't quote me on this, but one of the, it's not Jordan Peterson. It's a different guy. He talks about how his mom, or maybe her mom, was in Germany. She was a persecuted Jew. And the baby, so it must have been him. I don't know how old he is, but the baby inherits that stress. So this could be a metaphorical, or it could be, think of your life, your soul life, as a Disney movie. So you come in, you're a baby, you're learning. It creates a big picture. Say you had 200 lives, it creates a picture, so you're well-rounded. To me, this is the unhealed trauma. Like, we were getting alcoholism, this is like the same thing. Oh, we loved his spouse. And he's been male, female, yeah, we all have. Leaving or travel. There's a connection to this, to the next generation. They had to leave. And they were highly religious. Very, very devout. The grandparents were on Robert's side. I have no interest really in Kris at this exact minute. Oh, they kept journals. He learned to write journal. This is his grandfather. So this was like early 1900s. This is right around when my great grandma was coming over. Karmic relationship. Asia. So Armenia was where Turkey is now. I wonder what the Balkan War. Love story. Yeah. He's been through it all. I wonder if any of their children are him. I don't think he's ready to come back yet. Oh, maybe his mother was an orphan. Oh, I wonder if her parents died in that war. His parents had what I can see here is here's the war. They had this is his parents, this karmic relationship. They were super strong in their belief system, and they highly, highly loved each other. They were karmic soulmates. This is the High Priestess. The rumor about the spell, 7 generations, it's a long time. That's why when you heal, You heal 7 generations ahead of you and 7 generations behind you. This is the high priestess. So if there was a witch, big deal. This came down on his family's side. This is his grandmother's grandmother or something. Oh, he was in Atlantis. We knew that. We were all in Atlantis. I think that he was he wanted love like his parents had. And he thought he had that with Kris. They were a beacon of hope for him. He loved their love story. I wonder how many siblings he had. His parents, well, they were strict. And they also knew what it meant to have nothing, absolutely nothing. I mean, you don't leave your country because things are good. Medicine man, yeah, he definitely has some witchcraft in his family line. We all do. And the witch wound, I hear that in the spiritual community a lot, and that's cute. What it really is the circle, the women's circles. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's that wound. So the women were always the intuitive ones. The men fought the women. Oh, it's like your masculine and your feminine. I always say, or when I'm teaching, the right side wants the peanut butter and jelly and the left side makes it. The feminine wants it, the right side is the action. So he if they built, it sounds like they built a wealthy meat packaging company with freezers. They live in Boston or New York City. Where are they from? Oh, California. Well, I think that the mob went out to California. When did they found LA? Not LA. Well, the gold rush was 1860s, wasn't it? So Las Vegas must have been right around there. Perhaps he has some mob ties, big deal. I'm going to say he probably does. And they really, so if you ever meet it, or if you are from like the Caribbean, there's a difference between hoodoo and voodoo. Voodoo, though, is when you've seen it like on TV and stuff, they have dolls and voodoo. Don't fuck with voodoo magic. It's very real. Hoodoo is an American, the melting pot of New Orleans, the French, all of those guys. If anyone in here knows hoodoo, I just saw a YouTuber or somebody talk about it, and so I put the book on my Amazon wish list. They do have witchcraft in their family line. We all have witchcraft, and in spiritual circles, I always hear people talk about the witch wound. No. Okay, the original wound is the sisters' betrayal of each other. It's the sister wound. It's not, the witch wound came later, but the original betrayal was when, think of Native Americans. Native Americans are in a tribe. The women spend all their time together, the men go out and hunt. And the women, I know they did this in, well, especially during ISIS's time, the women were kept separate, but not because they were dirty. It was because their power was in their collective. They called them tribes, and as the we'll use them, as Native Americans were getting massacred and speaking of, what is it called? When you wipe out ethnic cleansing or whatever the tragedy of the Native Americans, they broke off and they started calling them families. The wound that everyone needs to heal is the sisterhood wound. It's not the witch wound. The witch wound is like a byproduct of the betrayal of the sisterhood wound. And he understood this. He was very balanced in his feminine. He also, he understood. Well, he was in Atlantis. We all fell at least 4 times. I think I remembered one time it was 5, but we're all back. Everyone's an old soul. Everyone's back. This is the battle of good and evil that we've been fighting since the beginning of time. They can blame it on Eve talking to a snake or whatever, the temptation. God is not evil or mean. God doesn't do things like that. He doesn't hold grudges. The story behind that is different, but so he was in Atlantis. He has seen, they also did ethnic cleansing. Shocker. Ethnic cleansing, no matter what words you use, eugenics, it's all still Auschwitz to me. It's all concentration camps. You can call it whatever you want. And I would do a little research on the concentration camps here in America. I don't think they're calling it that, but they're here, especially for the Japanese. He was super well balanced. He did have witchcraft in his family, we all do. Maybe it was him that cast that spell on his family, that the women would be, or I'm getting his grandmother's grandmother. He looked up to his parents' relationship as though it was like very solid, stable. I'm not getting any cheating, or if there was, it was like more mafia style, more like in the beginning in The Sopranos, when he was cheating, it wasn't the way it ended, but he also, his masculine and feminine, he understands war and battle. He understood like being an orphan. His karmic relationships, he really looked up to his parents' relationship. He really respected that they came here. I think it was his grandparents that came here. And I don't know if they were Catholic. I'm guessing they must have been Catholic. They lived and died by that Hail Mary, I'll tell you that. We all should. Yeah, they believed in angels. Someone was a medicine woman, yeah. I bet you, I'll spend some more time with him. I bet you he's the high priestess that put the spell on his family, thinking that he was doing the right thing. He has a journal. He was taught there are generations of journals somewhere. I have no idea where they are or if they're still even around. There are generations. All of the men in his family wrote journals, or what do you call them? My uncle keeps a diary. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, spouse, that's his parents. They had super strong faith. Back to Atlantis. The phobias, this is like, goes with every program. Oh, trees. He was also, I bet they were Native American too. Oh, so his parents, Native American. Yeah, we were right. Lessons and blessings. I think he wished he could have done things different. He doesn't regret like the kids. There's really no love for Kris though. It's like, what I feel love for are his parents and grandparents and his daughters, and his children. But I'm not feeling Kris really at all. Maybe that's just where we are at this today, just tapping into him today. We didn't get to the question about the bag, but I'm getting that there's other stuff. This goes deeper. To go back into like the family line, that will explain the children's behavior now. It's almost like the unhealed trauma through the generations with their fame and fortune really brought out the absolute worst, like the narcissistic side. I'm sure everyone in here has dealt with a narcissist or two. It's like a cut that never heals. Well, you just work through it, but I think think he's almost he's not disappointed in them. He's disappointed that he didn't get the chance to like show them his true side. I think they saw the like cutthroat workaholic, I'm sure. No, maybe that's what I was picking up, workaholic. But he kept the secret till he died. He died with that secret, and I think it caused his early death. But he didn't get to show his children the part of him that he wanted to show them. Like, he wishes he is just at this moment. Oh, I wonder if he's gone to the light. I might have to send him to the light so that he can cleanse and rest. There's no time on the other side. So, like Princess Diana, for example, she didn't leave for like 20 years because the grief was so heavy, it like kept her here. I don't know if he's gone to the light yet. I don't think he has. He is bringing in human emotions, which means he hasn't gone through the transition. We'll send him through, but I'd really like to answer some more questions. So. All right. Well, that was round 1 of Robert Sr. Kardashian. It's like time to rest now. That's what I'm getting. It's time to rest. So I will love you and leave you. I will see you guys next time. Please like, share, subscribe. Let's get to 10,000, and then we'll set a new goal. And if you'd like to book a reading, link is in the bio. If you'd like to join our Wednesday class, we'd love to have you. Tonight, we're going to talk about the sacred circle. Actually, I was just looking at some stuff. So with that, I will love you and leave you. See you on the flip side, and I love you.